Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack the most intriguing corners of knowledge just for you. Today, we're diving into a fascinating demographic, often overlooked in all the buzz around travel.
Right.
Generation X. You know, they sometimes get called the forgotten generation, but what if they're actually this quiet powerhouse, poised to really redefine travel's future? Our mission today is basically to unravel that paradox.
That's right. And you've brought us a great set of articles, research, expert analyses. We're going to unpack the unique characteristics, motivations, all those evolving habits of Gen X travelers. Understanding this group, I mean, it's absolutely crucial if you want to know where the travel industry is really going. We'll uncover some maybe surprising facts about their spending, their preferences, how they navigate this world of just constant information overload while still seeking out genuine, meaningful experiences.
Okay, great. So let's start by defining who this influential group actually is, Generation X. Generally, we're talking people born roughly between the mid-1960s and the early 1980s.
Yes, specifically the sources often pinpoint 1965 to 1980. And what's really foundational, I think, to understanding them is their position as the sandwich generation. Right. They're kind of bridging baby boomers and millennials. Many are juggling demanding careers, raising kids, and in some cases, even caring for aging parents or, they're becoming grandparents themselves. Think about that unique pressure. And their upbringing was really distinct, too. A lot were latchkey kids, right? Really, the last generation raised largely without computers. And that fostered this deep sense of independence, self-reliance, that background, well, you can imagine, it shapes their whole approach to travel.
And that unique approach, it often comes with some serious financial muscle, doesn't it? Our sources consistently highlight Gen X's significant financial stability, disposable income, which often gives them way more freedom for travel than maybe other groups.
They really are, in many ways, quiet powerhouses. Their trips might be less frequent sometimes, but when Gen X does travel, they spend big. The average is around $914 per trip. And that's often because they're traveling in larger family groups, you see.
Oh,
and this isn't just like a feeling. The numbers back it up. They have the highest spending power. We're talking nearly a third of both total net worth and income dollars.
That's huge.
It is. And it's not just about having the money, it's how they use it. It's like a strategic investment in experiences. They value quality, absolutely, willing to pay for high-end accommodation, experiences that promise lasting memories. But here's the fascinating part, the paradox. They're also highly price sensitive. They actively search for deals, especially for those more complex family trips. So it's this constant balancing act between premium experiences and real value.
Okay, so with that life stage, that economic power, what does it actually translate to when they pack their bags? You might think, I don't know, exotic adventures, lavish luxury. But our deep dive shows something surprising. A staggering 68% of Gen Xers list rest as their main reason for travel.
Yeah.
More than any other generation. I mean, that's really telling, isn't it? What's behind that deep need for just decompression?
That 68% figure, it's incredibly telling. You're right. It really speaks to a generation that's likely spent decades in demanding careers, raising families, navigating constant demands. So this desire for rest, it often shows up as a growing interest in wellness holidays. Now, their current engagement might be a bit lower than younger generations, but the trend is definitely there. Think mindfulness exercises, yoga escapes, meditation getaways, spa-focused vacations.
Right.
It all ties back to this deep desire for mental clarity, for peace, a real antidote to their hectic lives. It's not just about lying on a beach, It's about genuine renewal.
And beyond just pure relaxation, they also seem really drawn to cultural and educational experiences, not just passive observers, right? They like visiting museums, historical sites, actually participating in local life.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how they often define luxury.
Yeah.
For Gen X, it seems to be more experiential over opulence.
Okay, experiential over opulence. I like that.
Yeah, so that might mean like high-end cooking classes with local chefs, trying authentic local foods, maybe private guided tours of historical landmarks, where the comfort, which they still value, absolutely comes with a compelling story or a deeper understanding. It's not about excess. It's about enriching their perspective, making a real connection.
Now, a lot of our sources mention Gen X having this adventurous past. Are they still seeking that thrill? Or has adventure kind of evolved for them?
That's a really crucial distinction. The desire for engaging experiences absolutely hasn't faded. But adventure for Gen X often looks quite different now. It's often what some call soft adventure.
Soft adventure. Okay, what's that?
It means challenging but still accessible activities. Think hiking scenic trails, not necessarily climbing K2, right?
Right.
Cycling through picturesque countryside, maybe kayaking, things that get them active and engaged but don't require extreme fitness or risk. And these trips often balance that physical activity with, luxury and relaxation, unwinding at a nice boutique lodge after a hike, that kind of thing.
Ah, okay. The best of both worlds, maybe.
Sort of. It's about personal growth, self-discovery, but yeah, with a certain level of comfort involved.
And that idea of seeking genuine experiences seems to lead directly to their preference for exploring maybe off-the-beaten-path destinations. They're not always hitting the main tourist traps.
Exactly. That desire for authentic experiences often means they want to avoid those super crowded spots. It also pushes them towards looking for destination dupes.
Dupes, like cheaper alternatives.
Yeah, similar places, but maybe lesser known, often offering a lower cost and definitely a more relaxed atmosphere. They want to experience a place in a truly meaningful, maybe less commercialized way. It's almost like trying to get back to a simpler, more direct kind of travel.
That emphasis on quality, escaping the mainstream, it really paints a picture. Which makes me wonder about the logistics. How do they actually plan these trips? Who are they traveling with typically? When do they go?
Well, historically, family trips have been a huge cornerstone for Gen X. And the sources confirm they still have a strong preference for activities that can engage everyone, from young kids to teenagers. But it's evolving. That's the key thing.
How so?
While those traditional family trips with younger children might be slightly decreasing, what's really on the rise is multi-generational travel.
Oh, okay. Like with grandparents or adult kids?
Exactly. Traveling with adult children, maybe nieces and nephews, even aging parents. And this means travel providers really need to offer incredibly flexible itineraries, activities suitable for a whole range of ages and mobility levels to capture this market.
That makes sense. And as those family dynamics shift, we're also seeing another interesting trend pop up: solo travel for Gen X, which kind of aligns with that independent latchkey kid background you mentioned.
Absolutely. And there seem to be about 5 key reasons driving this, all linking back to their core identity. First, just that inherent independence and self-reliance from their upbringing. They're comfortable doing things alone. Second, they're incredibly versatile communicators. They've seen styles change from the 60s to now, right? So they can often relate to diverse people easily. Third, they kind of know how to experience travel in a more raw way, without the constant need for social media validation, tapping into that pre-internet youth memory.
Interesting.
Fourth, they often find it easier to relate to locals, maybe in less developed places that feel a bit like stepping back in time. And finally, a big one. Many are now empty nesters, or even retired. They're ready to rediscover personal freedom, nurture themselves. It's a real moment of personal rediscovery.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, because of those demanding careers and family duties you talked about, it seems logical that Gen X tends to travel less frequently than some other generations.
That's generally true. However, the fascinating counterpoint is that when they do travel, they often take longer trips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they average about 26 vacation days per year, and nearly half of their holidays last more than 7 days.
Okay, so fewer trips, but longer duration.
Exactly, which allows for that deeper immersion and, crucially, that much-needed decompression we talked about earlier.
And speaking of deeper immersion, we're seeing this interesting blurring of lines between work and leisure, especially for Gen X. The traditional vacation model seems to be shifting for them.
This is where things like workations and extended stays really come into play. Remote work flexibility, which many Gen Xers in leadership roles now have, it enables them to blend productivity with that deeper immersion in new places, local cultures.
Right, instead of just a quick fly in, fly out.
Precisely. They can actually take their time exploring a destination, embedding themselves more in the local rhythm rather than just rushing through the highlights.
So thinking about their pre-digital upbringing, how does Gen X actually navigate the tech landscape when they travel? It seems like a potential contradiction.
It is a bit of a nuanced area. They are definitely comfortable with technology. They expect their devices to work seamlessly. They value things like online booking, self-check-in, maybe smart rooms. But their digital engagement is different. They seem less dependent on smartphones for in-trip decisions compared to younger generations. However, a very significant number, like 79%, still expect to be able to book their entire trip online.
Okay.
And websites are definitely their primary tool for research and booking. So you absolutely need a strong digital presence to reach them. But their reliance feels maybe more pragmatic, less constant.
And for social media, you mentioned Facebook and Pinterest seem to be their go-to platforms for travel inspiration and sharing.
That's what the sources indicate. And their communication style, generally, leans towards short, direct messages rather than long, rambling emails. And while they absolutely use digital channels for gathering information and making reservations, many still seem to prefer actual human contact in the final stages of booking.
For reassurance.
Exactly. That personal touch provides a crucial layer of peace of mind, especially for maybe more complex or expensive bookings.
But then, interestingly, there's this contrast. The growing appeal of digital detox vacations, where Gen Xers intentionally unplug. Is that uniquely Gen X, or is it just a broader thing happening?
It's certainly a broader trend, but I think it resonates particularly strongly with Gen X, partly because of their roots. It's a direct response to that feeling of information overload, the constant demands on their attention.
Makes sense.
It's a way for them to consciously reconnect with nature, with loved ones, with themselves, fostering mental clarity through things like hiking, yoga, meditation, just being present. For a generation that actually remembers life before constant connectivity, choosing to unplug isn't just like a gimmick. It feels like a profound return to a simpler, more present way of experiencing the world.
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates their desire for real rest and those deeper experiences.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the learner? It seems clear Gen X represents a really significant and increasingly strategic target for the travel industry, especially as baby boomers naturally start to travel less over the next, say, 10 to 14 years. Gen X is really poised to become the primary focus.
Absolutely. This deep dive, I think, has shown that Generation X, far from being forgotten, is truly redefining what it means to travel with intention, with balance. Their unique position, bridging those analog roots with digital fluency, it allows them to seek profound experiences, culture, wellness, soft adventure, while still valuing comfort and efficiency. They're discerning, they're financially capable, and they deeply understand the value of a truly restorative and enriching journey.
So here's a final thought for you to consider. How might Gen X's really nuanced approach to travel, that desire to unplug sometimes, to reconnect with family across generations, to seek out genuine transformative experiences, how might that actually be a blueprint? A blueprint, maybe, for how all generations will increasingly seek meaning and rejuvenation through travel in our super-connected, demanding world. What aspects of their travel philosophy resonate most with your own evolved desires for connection and discovery?